Hi everyone! Bookseller Allyse back again with another book rec/craft. This week we're doing something that would be good for a possible Mother's Day present. So a book going to be paired with something you can easily make as a gift. So our book this week is Miss Austen by Gill Hornsby. This came out early in April and it's a really sweet book. It's not about Jane, it's about her older sister Cassandra. It's from her point of view. And she's often known as kind of the quieter sister who just kind of goes along with everything Jane says. And Gill Hornsby's book kind of questions that narrative. And it goes back and forth between Cassandra's time with Jane in the early 1800s and Cassandra at the end of her life in the 1840s, trying to preserve Jane's name and reputation as she herself is ending her life. And it's a really sweet book. It has really good sister relationships, has a little bit of mystery, a little bit of romance. It's just a really, really touching book, and I think mothers, daughters, grandmothers, anyone will like it, but if you're giving it to someone for Mother's Day, I think this is a good rec. So to pair with this book, we're actually going to do a little cooking tutorial today instead of the actual craft. It's really easy. It's Earl Grey shortbread cookies, so if you have Earl Grey tea, this should hopefully be all ingredients that you have in your house, and they're super easy. I technically stole this recipe from the Food Network website. It was recommended to me by another bookseller, and I tried it last week. And it's super easy, it's super quick, and it's super delicious. And I think they'll go well with this book, especially the color of the flowers on the cover. So it'll be a nice little pairing. Alright, so let's get cooking. For this recipe, you're going to need 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of loose Earl Grey tea leaves, half a teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of confectioner's sugar, 1 teaspoon pure vanilla extract, and 1 cup or 2 sticks of butter that have been warmed to room temperature. You will also need a food processor, parchment paper, and plastic wrap. Our first step is to start making our dough. So we're going to start putting our ingredients in our food processor. We're going to start with 2 cups of flour, which I have already measured out just because it's easier. So I'm just going to dump that. After the flour, you're also going to put in the half teaspoon of salt and the 2 tablespoons of loose Earl Grey tea leaves. I had tea bags, and when I measured them out, it was roughly 3 tea bags per tablespoon, so about 6 bags total. And then you're going to pulse them together in the food processor until the flour is speckled with the tea leaves. Once your flour and Earl Grey tea mixture is evenly dispersed with the flour freckled with the tea, you're going to add our wetter ingredients. Now you're going to start by mixing in the 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, the 3/4 cup of confectioner's sugar, and then 1 cup worth or 2 sticks of butter, which have been sitting out since I started this video, so they're warm, they're not melted, but they are soft. And what you're going to do to make the mixing easier is you are going to cut it up into little bits before you put it into the food processor. Now we're going to pulse this until it makes a dough. Make the mixer do all the work for us. Once you've made the dough in the food processor, you're going to roll it out into a log, into a plastic wrap, and then you're going to chill it in the fridge for 30 minutes so it gets all nice and solid. Make sure your dough log is nice and round because once you cut it, that will be the shape that your cookies will be. And also, when you're done, tie the plastic wrap ends nice like it's a mint so that it'll stay nice and cool. Once it's been 30 minutes and your dough is nice and solid, we're going to actually cut it up and bake it now. So in the half an hour since I put this in the fridge, I have set the oven to 375 degrees. And we're going to bake these on a lined with parchment paper cookie sheet. And you're going to cut these in about 1/3 of an inch discs, but you can eyeball it, it's fine. Just thin, not very thick cookies. And these are going to cook for about 12 to 15 minutes until the edges are golden brown. So I'm going to cut this up now. And once I filled the cookie sheet, I still had some dough left over. So I'm going to do another round later, but you could also save the dough and bake another batch at another time. So after 13 minutes, my cookies are all done. When they're done baking, it should look something like this. Golden brown on the bottom, but not too golden on the top. And those are going to cool down on the tray for 5 minutes, and then spend another 10 minutes cooling on a cooling rack. And then they're ready to serve. They're good for about a week. So I found with my last batch, and you just put them on a plate, wrap them up, and they're a pretty easy Mother's Day gift. And while you're waiting, while they're baking, or while they're in the fridge, that is plenty of time to go to anunlikelystory.com and buy a matching present, Miss Austen. We also have some Mother's Day bundles online too, if you don't like these, but book and cookies, what more do you need? See you next time. Happy Mother's Day!